Claire Russell from Fitzco.
Hi everyone, I'm Claire Russell from Fitzco and I lead our media department. Fitzco is a mid-sized full-service agency located right here in Atlanta, and today we're going to talk a little bit about our client Shoe Carnival and our COVID response case. For those of you that don't know Shoe Carnival, it's one of the largest family footwear retailers in the country with 384 stores. For them specifically, on the next slide, our stores are where the shopping experience really shines. There's a guy with a mic, there's a big wheel that kids can spin, there are games that you can play as a family that earn you promotions and different discounts throughout the store. So when we had to close all of the stores on March 19th, it put a tremendous amount of pressure on our very nascent e-commerce business. On the next slide, not to mention 59% of consumers reported an intent to decrease spending in this category, which makes a ton of sense, right? Because you've got furloughs, you've got layoffs, you've got a lot of uncertainty. This is going to be an expendable category. So from a media perspective, we did three main things during this time that we'll talk a little bit about. We rebuilt the plan from the bottom up, we redeployed our investment, and when we found places of high value, we doubled down. Starting with the rebuilding of the plan, going into COVID, we had a really nice, robust media mix. We had a lot of connected TV, a lot of video, kind of upper funnel awareness channels. When COVID hit, we redeployed almost that entire investment into our consideration and conversion channels because we just needed to fish where the fish were. And on the next slide, we made over 7,100 manual intraday changes. As you guys know, what machine learning is really good at is looking backwards and identifying trends. And it says, you've played this hand 100,000 times before, we can help you play it the 100,000th and first time even better. What machine learning really isn't good at, though, is things like COVID, when there are huge changes into supply and demand, right, from an inventory perspective, and then also unprecedented change from a consumer behavior standpoint. Machine learning really can't handle that. So we pulled our entire program into manual mode and we've been babying it ever since. On the next slide, we talk a little bit about our Google Shopping program, which has been one of the bright spots in our digital right now. So our competitive advantage is really price, but the challenge for Shoe Carnival is that you don't see the price on the shoes until you go to the site, add it to your cart, apply the promotion code, and then it takes that dollar amount off. What we did instead is we actually hard-coded that promotional pricing throughout our entire inventory feed so that we could be more competitive in this auction. And you can see that second ad there. Typically, we would have listed that shoe at $90, and you can now see it's got that promotional pricing at $67.50. One of the things we did as well is we explored Facebook's new instant experience. So this kind of brings the shopping process forward into someone's Facebook feed. This ad unit alone had an average time spent of 41 seconds, which a time with an ad unit of 41 seconds is pretty amazing. So a lot of engagement driven through this as well. And the last thing that we did is we doubled down on the days of stimulus check deposits. So as you guys may know, stimulus checks were deposited across a series of Wednesdays starting in April. Every time we saw stimulus check deposits hit people's bank accounts, we saw demand come roaring into the market, especially in a category like ours, which was particularly expendable. So this was a place where we really heavied up and took advantage of that increased opportunity. And overall, we increased our investment 200%. Not only did we not see diminishing returns, we drove 460% increase in e-com revenue and an 86% increase in ROAS. And on the last slide, when we had a chance to present this case to the Shoe Carnival CEO, he said, I have chills looking at this, I'm so excited. And a little bit emotionally, he told us they made a decision early on not to furlough anyone. And this growth in e-commerce is really what allowed them to keep that promise to our people. So a great performance story, a great feel-good story for that company overall, and something we're continuing to work through this summer.